drunk.
Elmo is a drunk, and if you didn't watch Sesame Street and got that from him, then and actually no. He don't drink. He definitely owns some drugs though. What's a drug that gets you hyper? Is it crack? Do crack get you hyper?
I mean, it's an upper. It's a stimulant
and
for
meth.
sure. Yeah,
He's just on crack and meth.
Yeah, I guess. Because he's a bit of a tweaker, right?
I mean, he goes, yeah! So,
so I would say probably much more meth.
Or crack.
I mean, I haven't seen that side of crack, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking like cocaine is not as dirty hypery, whereas crack is like a meth hyper.
See, I don't have that association in my head. But like,
it could just be a random association I have.
Because like I think of like meth heads as being tweakers who are all like fidgeting and going ahead and taking apart toasters and.
Wait, why is that bad?
Well, no, but I mean like they're tinkerers, tweaking tinkerers.
Why is that bad?
It's not inherently bad.
You just said it was a drug thing.
Well, no, it's not necessarily a drug thing. But when it is a drug thing,
you're saying I'm on meth.
It's different.
Thank you. Me sober is on meth.
I mean, never said that. Never said that.
You
never said that.
I got
never
something
said
special
that.
for you, Wazzy.
White Claw. Thank you.
It's like low calories and stuff.
Yeah, but it's White Claw.
I know.
Oh.
And like low carbs. You can get
low carb. Is it no carb though?
I brought down 3 glasses. So, yeah, I think you deserve a little something.
I'll sip on my White Claw here.
That's there. And especially today, maybe this shit just don't hit y'all like it hit me, man. But rest in peace to my man Chadwick Boseman, bro. Like Black Panther, dog. Jackie Robinson, dog. Like James Brown. Dog was a beast when it came to acting. And representation is just so much more important than I think people give it credit for. So to see, somebody that looks like you in lead roles, like as growing up, and I don't know, I don't know if y'all ever thought about it because y'all have always seen, white guys in lead roles, but that shit just hit different when you finally see shit like that. And especially,
I feel like I've always seen it.
What?
Like, I mean, I grew up watching Denzel Washington in lead roles and Morgan Freeman and all that jazz. So I definitely get representation and stuff like that. And like, for example, like Obama's different, but when we're talking about film, I feel like film music, like there's been plenty of big time lead, black artists and stuff like that.
I'm not going. Damn, my shit tripping.
Hell, I grew up watching the Cosby Show and Family Matters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's, that's one show for every 10 other shows, right? Though.
So I think that's what it is. As far as like, there was like, especially in the 90s, there was this like boom of like UPN had all these great black TV shows. BET was around heavy, and like you said, there was a lot of movies that came out. But those movies that came out, they wasn't winning Oscars and shit. Denzel finally got one, broke through. Will Smith, finally won one and broke through. Who else? Who's the other guy I'm thinking about? I'd have to think, but it's like you said, it's one for every 10, and I'm not saying I never seen it. It's just it was fire to finally get one in the Marvel universe, like standalone, your own shit. And I love that movie, and I was really looking forward to the next chapters of what y'all was gonna be able to do with it. And now my man's is gone at 43, and it's just another good person, another disaster, another thing that's gonna happen in 2020. And we're in we not in September yet, y'all. Like I'm thinking we about to make it, and it's just something else, bro. Every day. So cheers to Fuck
Shout out to 2020.
Yeah, man. Fuck
Doing the damn
2020.
thing.
Rest in peace to Chadwick and the Black Panther. And that's just, and me and Wazzy was talking about it yesterday. He's and I think you said you got to start going for that colon stuff around 40.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he was battling it for 4 years.
So got to. Well, he was diagnosed at 40.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
39.
So that's probably when he got his, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's around the time, like you said. And then what? That was too late. I went at 39, and was I too late? Like,
It can be.
when y'all tell me that I gotta come in at 40, like that shit's
Oh yeah,
trash.
I mean, my dad's been harping on me, since I would turn 30.
Yeah,
You know, like you need to get that checked out because, like, especially with my family, it runs in the family.
yeah. Have you done it yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Well, now they can do a preliminary blood test.
Okay.
I did. If I remember correctly, I did bring it up to the doctor last time I went, which was a couple of years ago and stuff. And he's like, "Oh no, you're fine." I'm like, "You sure?" Because like, I got a family history, and this is the first time you've ever met me.
I mean, I'd force it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd force at least the.
Hey, come
the
put
blood
this
test.
finger in this butt right now. I'm not gonna ask you again, boy.
Wazzy's like, eh.
You don't have to go right to butt.
Yeah.
But that shit's just terrible, bro. And during those 4 years, he did some of his biggest movies, bro.
Mhm.
Like, these are very demanding roles that you have to be in. And you know, it's not they don't go well with having cancer and battling cancer and going through chemo. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, hell, like maybe he wouldn't have done those roles as well as he did without it.
Maybe.
You know, I mean, because he knew that his time was limited. You know,
Yeah.
and not to mention, I saw that interview where he was talking about his interaction with like kids with cancer
Yeah.
and stuff, and how much of an impression that made on him, and everything. So I mean, that's just adding fuel to the fire. Like, you know, I can't let these kids down.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I'm battling the same damn thing. Who knows how much longer I got left?
Mhm.
So I better go ahead and just knock it out of the fucking park. And yeah,
Was it publicly known at all? Because I hadn't heard anything about that.
I don't think it was.
They kept that shit under wraps, which is also wild.
Mm-hmm.
TMZ get their hands on everything. So,
But yeah, you never know when you're gonna go. So like, fucking do it.
yep. Fucking do it, y'all.
And like, yeah. And like, when I say that, plenty of people like, oh yeah, well, that's why I party all the time. No, he wasn't partying all the time. He was going to work. He was working out to stay in shape for the roles and stuff like that, to create art that would go ahead and make a meaningful impact on someone else's life.
Yep.
Like, do something creative.
Yep. And you know, every generation needs somebody like that. And that's why I kind of go back to representation, because he was that representation for a whole new group of young kids that wasn't around when we got, you know, Blade or even how shitty Spawn was. I still rocked with Spawn, and you know what I'm saying? And even like I said, during that heyday of great shows, it's not that many great shows out there. You know, there's like Blackish, and that's about it. Like, when back in the day, it's like, I come home and I can't tell you what I like more. What I like more: Fresh Prince, Martin. You know what I'm saying? Live, like you said, I fuck with Bill Cosby Show, Living Color. You know, Living Single. It was a bunch of shit. Just was on UPN, and that was all it was. The Parkers, you know, the Wayans Bros. And it's like now, yeah, bro. Sister, Smart Guys on Nickelodeons and shit. Like. It was, and that kind of died down a little bit. So this was about to be a new wave for a new group of kids, and you can still use them, but it's just sad to lose them. 43 is just fuck, bro. We close to 43, bro.
I really am.
It's kind of interesting though, because like I remember, what was the show? My Brother and I. Or my
That's an old boy.
But I mean, not that old. I mean, 90s, right?
Yeah.
And stuff. But like, it uses a lot of that, like,
that's 30 years ago, by the way.
Well yeah. I mean, I get that, but like, what like I'm getting at is that it the intro, if I remember correctly, has a lot of that Afrocentric artwork and everything that was actually harkening back to the 70s and like yeah, so like a lot of that's harkening back to the 70s and the Black Panther Party and a lot of the Black is Beautiful sort of stuff that was going on back then, right?
Hell yeah.
So it's like, so in the 70s you have the Black Panthers and you have this more Black Pride vibe going on and everything.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened in the 80s, but it seems like that it got snuffed out for it to go ahead and come back in the 90s. And then when we look at like, you know, some of the styles in the 90s and the colors, like how bright the colors were and everything. Yep. I feel like that's also harkening back to some of these very African sort of designs.
I was just going to say the color pattern is very African tribe.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things I really enjoyed about it was like just how different culturally, you know, that whole art style is.
Yeah.
You know, and then so like we have that in the 70s, dies out in the 80s, comes back in the 90s, dies out in the early 2000s and stuff, and yeah, so I wonder if there's like a weird ebb and flow.
95. Yeah, and you know yeah, definitely is. I mean, there's I don't want to get into too crazy, but there's certain shit that happens and during those times where, you know, you got shit like Black Wall Street and then the government kind of killed that shit out, and then you know there's just like all type of stuff, and then the Reagan administration shit, whatever, crack in the streets, all type of shit. So I don't know how much just sprinkle some crack on them once get out. I don't know like how much that shit starts translating towards like television and stuff, but if you speak to a lot of the people who, especially like Damon Wayans at that time was like putting a lot of people on and doing a lot of shit. You hear about how like you just don't get treated fairly, and it's some of it's because you Black, and some of it's just because it's business, right? And they just treat everybody like shit. So it's like, all right, now I want to try to make my own path, and then once again, half business, half we don't want you doing this shit is they make it real hard for you. Who they is, I can't, you know, I can't really say, but there, you know, there's certain people out there who control certain avenues of entertainment that if you don't dick suck basically and do what they say and give them big percentages, they not gonna let your shit rock. So it's a lot of that. It comes down to just breaking through these different walls, and it's funny because, like you said, you break through them for a little bit, and then another wall get put up, and now you set back a little, however long. People get discouraged, and it take a while to build that shit back up.
Well, I think in the 70s and 90s there was a very clear target to who should be brought back up. Maybe in 2010 it was a lot less clear as to what group of people we're gonna get that attention that you know came every other decade or so. Yeah,
and that's what I like to. That's what I want to explore too. Like, Blacks aren't the only minorities out here, and in the 90s there was a lot of Latino shows out too. You see none of them no more. Like, I see more Black shows than I see. Ain't no Mencias shows. Ain't no what's my other man's name? George Lopez shows. Like, it ain't none of that shit no more.
Like the 2000s though, right?
Was it 2000s? I can't remember.
I thought it was like the
let's see 10s. Real quick.
Also, do we want to start?
Let me pray to the Google God of Jamie. You're right. This is the No Consensus podcast while I look up George Lopez show. We live with each other 2002 to 2007. So yeah, you right. So yeah, that's them 2000s and shit. I'm Mike Jack, aka the Drink God, aka Red Solo Cup King, aka got that what I call it, bad, and I won't tell y'all what that stands for. And then the geek of all geeks, and then to my left we got Jake, aka Fuzzy Hair, aka Terrible Tattoos, aka Brand New House Shorty. And then I like that, and then Colonel Mustard Mustache, that's what I'm gonna call you. And then to my right we got the Woozinator, aka the cheatinest motherfucker among us, aka the imposter himself, aka Just AKA, I think that being good means not talking, but it always works somehow. Well, John Wozniak, and this is the No Consensus Podcast. You bums, cheers, y'all. This is how everybody played Among Us last night. They'll be like, we'll call an emergency, or they'll find a body, and then whoever found the body will be like, it's blue, and then blue will be like, it's green. Like, blame whoever whoever said it was them. I'm blaming you. And then now they just argue with each other about who it is, and now we gotta choose who's lying. And then inevitably both of them was not the imposter, so we end up throwing out two people who wasn't.
I was a killer that game, so I'm like, all right, fine, you call each other out.
That shit's hilarious, bro. It's green, it's blue. That's it. We ain't got no proof in this bitch. That shit's great. But yeah, like you know,
well, I think
it's just a lack of. And if I'm not thinking of something, let me know. But I really can't think of no Latino shows out right now, like lead roles, Asian shows.
Some female,
I don't
know.
What's the show called where Virgin, Jane the Virgin? That's about it, and that stopped going.
See, like, I feel like that's part of the problem of all of these identity politics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you're wanting black TV shows? Well, that means that there's one less spot for Latinos. That means that there's one less spot for women. That means that there's one less spot for gays. That means that there's one less spot for trans.
Well, I mean, then
so we want to go ahead and have this. Yeah, I mean, so
well, Jake,
if you
that would have
shine, then that means that it's taken the spotlight out away from other people.
That would have been the case 10 years ago before Netflix, but now they're streaming, and there's no, there's not no spots. Just get your shit on here, and everybody watch what you want to watch.
Featured spots.
I don't know what you mean by featured spots, like when they throw it on the top 10 or whatever.
Yeah, there's only so many spots there, and there's only so many articles getting written and all that jazz, and everyone's always complaining that, like, oh, well, so and so is getting an article in the New York Times, but this isn't getting any play and that sort of thing. Like, that's just, that's kind of like what we saw with that one white kid who was killed. Like, I know a bunch of people who are all pissy that wasn't in the news and stuff. Now, there's a reason for it that makes perfect sense and all that jazz. But, like, there's only so many resources, and we want every little niche to go ahead and get a spot and all that jazz. And, like, it's going to be problematic.
I feel like Netflix was doing that because, to me, it seemed like, I can't remember the exact shows, but I watched a couple of them, and there seemed like there were token characters.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, you're the gay guy, you're trans, you're black, you're white.
Yeah, it's like formulaic.
Yeah. And sometimes maybe that's how it's got to start. I don't know.
It doesn't feel natural,
yeah, and maybe it's got to start with some shitty versions of it before they figure out how to make it. But I don't know. It's you right
even
though.
Autists are getting there's like an autist love show, that's on Netflix that keeps going ahead and I keep getting bombarded with ads about and stuff like that, and it's like, no, they're normal fucking human beings. Like, I don't know.
So what's your stance, Jake? Because it almost sounds like you don't give nobody nothing. What you thinking?
No, I mean, just everyone wants attention on themselves and stuff, and there's only so many resources, and I also don't care. So I mean, I'm not I watch the shows that I want to watch and all that jazz. And when you're going ahead and you're trying to push something in front of me, I know that you're trying to sell me something, so I pull away from it. So I don't know, just create good art. If you want a good black TV show, make it just to be a good show that has, Luke Cage, I didn't feel was trying to pander to me. It was just good. It
had its moments though, but yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like that was more going ahead and like roping in a lot of the blaxploitation that the comic was based off of, you know, and stuff. So like
Sweet Christmas.
like I love that shit. That was hilarious.
That shit get me every time. It's one scene in season 2 where the man is beating up his wife and is slapping his kid, and then he like, anybody else want some? And then Luke Cage kicked the door like, I want some. Me and Solano laughed at that shit for like 15 minutes. He kicked the door down. I was like, I want some.
Well, it just feels like authentically good to me, you know, like
it was just so funny.
You're not trying to sell me a product or anything, because then at that point you're going ahead and you're treating human beings in entire demographics as a product.
I think part of the issue is
the whole coffee innuendos too.
Yeah,
is when they've written a story and they have to change who does a certain part just to fill that niche. Mm-hmm. And it comes off as ingenuine.
Yeah.
Whereas with Luke Cage, you're like, all right, I believe that you don't have to force anybody into a certain role.
Right.
And so I guess it's less so for me about how should I put this? The reason why I used to like those shows so much is because I could relate to the jokes and the shit that they was going through. Mm-hmm. And like you said, that's not always necessarily white or black. You're not, just because it's not only black people that live in the hood. If you grew up in the hood, you'll understand the jokes. Mm-hmm. If you grew up poor, you'll understand the jokes that a lot of these shows had, you know, like Wayans Bros or, you know, what's the other shit I was thinking about? Like Martin and shit. Like you understand these jokes just because this is I know what they going through and shit. Mm-hmm. So you're right, Jake. It's not so much that it has to be, don't, like you said, don't make no show just to put black people in it and it's ass. Mm-hmm. Make a good show, then cast the right people in it.
Well, I mean, but it can come from that place, you know. It could come like just write a good show that's from your neighborhood, from what you actually bare your soul.
Yeah.
You know, like make good. I don't care if it's a country song or a rap song or a metal song, like bare your soul.
Yep.
You know, and like people respond to that, you know.
But that's also what I'm talking about as far as like, that's why I used to like the Cosby Show, because that was also a contradictory to kind of what all the other black shows is like. So I like these shows because they like me, they poor, they just got to get it how they live. But then I like the Cosby Show because he rich, right? He a successful doctor delivering babies, too. Fresh Prince. And that's a good one too, because I felt like I was like,
that was even better because it's mixing.
I'm a poor kid in a rich neighborhood, and I felt that shit to my heart for sure. Mm-hmm. So but yeah, those type of shows where you see like, oh, now I got a representation of what it's like to Uncle Phil's a judge, you know, a highly respected judge who's successful. Bill Cosby's a highly respected doctor. His wife, I forgot what his wife was, a lawyer or something maybe. But they all got money and they raising their kids and trying to show them how to navigate life and stuff, and you don't always have to see it from this way, you know. So that, you know, like I'm saying, it's you can write these shows, but it just feels better to me when I see a show that's written well and it has a good representation of diversity, because that's just the life we live, guys. Like, you don't just go somewhere and you only see a certain race of people. I think, let me phrase that. Yes, you do sometimes, but it just feels good to have that. But like you said, when you just cookie cuttering and throwing people in something just to please the audience, that's when it gets
just so that you get like that black audience to come in, or the gay audience, because there's one gay guy on the show.
I think all of the execs are the ones making those.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, hey, we'll make your show, but this guy's got to not be black. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't work with the way the story was written, then it comes off as PR execs.
Right. And it's Nickelback.
Yeah. And I think that's the part that irritates me the most. There's a guy who wrote a script really good and was thinking about everybody and everything he could throw into it, and then you take it to some exec who's rich and just disconnected and a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And out of his mouth comes words like, I don't think the audience will connect with this character. Or I don't think we should have, that's too many blacks in there. Can we switch that up with something else? Like, what are you talking about? Don't cast him. Let's cast this person because we want to get this audience. That type of vernacular. Yeah. And the fact that those conversations happen it just is the part that irritates me and pisses me off.
Well, and you know, things like Family Matters.
Oh, family
you know, like
that's good call.
that's I feel like a really good example. You know, I grew up watching that show, and I never saw it even as a black show. You know, because it had just a good story, good characters, and I could relate to it as a white kid in my own circumstances that were wildly different.
Yep.
You know, but it's a good story, and I'm connecting with the story, which then allows me to go ahead and be like, oh, black people go ahead and go through these issues as well. You know, and I feel like it allows you to actually grow outside of yourself and increase the empathy. You know, but when it's just like surface level, then it's going ahead and rejecting other people, you know. You need them to soak into it.
And that's another part of that representation that I think is key. Having people outside of your culture watch your shit and understand, like, oh, this is what somebody else is going through. I can relate to them. When you feel like you can relate to other people, now you become more open to those other people. Because you got to remember, a lot of these shows came on those channels that, you know, that you was poor. 50, 20, 62, you know, 3 for the game and shit. Like, it was only a certain type of people who was watching those channels on a consistent basis. If you was a upper echelon type of people, you already had satellite or something, you weren't watching that shit. You was watching, you know, 90210 or, you know, whatever else was coming on at that time. Dawson's Creek and shit. And not to say I didn't watch some of that stuff, but it was, you know, I was restricted to certain things that was on my channels. Yep. These is what was on those channels at the time. And if you was at an upper echelon, you never watched that. You never understood it. You never seen that you could relate to these other people. And now you acting a goofy when you finally meet someone. Because not only do you go to it, not only do you not see it on TV, you go to a school where you don't see no other black kids or Asian kids or Latino kids. You know what I'm saying? You go into parties, you don't see nobody else.
That's gonna touch people's hair.
Yeah, goofy, bro. Goofy shit.
I've never understood that.
That's just goofy shit. So I always understood because I watched them shows. That shit used to come on. Saved by the Bell used to come on, bro. I catch that shit. I watched Nickelodeon when I went over to my granny house, like, you know. But a lot of kids, you know, that was upper didn't peep those channels. So
I think there was a lot of gating too. Of the people being like, oh, you'll never understand it. Maybe I will.
That's what I hate too. That's another thing that the execs say. They won't get this. They won't like this. What are you talking about? Stop telling me what I'm gonna like or what I won't like.
I grew up a rich white kid. I might not. I might understand things that aren't what rich white kid issues.
Yeah, right. Because it implies that you have to go ahead and live the experience,
right?
And that there's no such thing as empathy,
right?
You know, and like will I 100% ever be able to fully understand the black experience in America here? No, but I can work to get closer. Yeah. You know, I can work to go ahead and make correlations to experiences that I have lived and all that jazz. But like, otherwise, if you're saying that, well, you haven't lived this, therefore you don't. Well, like I haven't lived your life. Yep. Can I go ahead and even understand what it's like to be a white guy?
Right. Exactly. Like,
you know, like everyone's lived their own life that's wildly different. So, but
even your own brothers who live under the same roof as you for 18 years, y'all have different lives and experiences, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, someone who went ahead and like was 16 when 9/11 happened, as opposed to being 10 when 9/11 happened. Yeah. Wildly different experiences and understandings of the country. You know,
I was in a college course when that was happening, so like it was that weird real world type stuff,
right? Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, people around me, they're all people in the real world too. It's not high school,
right?
And just the disrespect to the average person's intellect and ability to empathize it irritates my soul. Oh, yeah. And that's why I like shit like YouTube, SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? Spotify now, where I don't have to I can put some shit out myself and let the people decide whether or not it's good. I don't have to have you decide whether it's good and then the people decide if it's good afterwards. Like, I got a whole new medium to make my own content, become my own person, and prove to you. And like, how many stories have we heard where they say, I sent this to like 40 execs, they all said no, they all said it was trash, I put it out on my own and I blew up, and now they want to come work with me and partner up. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, that happens a lot.
That's
now,
why
bro.
bands, for like, if you look at their first 3 albums, it's like bands, if you look at any band, their like first 3 albums are different labels. Because they're like, oh, I don't like that. That was not cool for how our band works.
Yeah. It's just a double-edged sword because like Mob Rule is also garbage.
Yep.
You know,
Mob Rule is how KKK happened.
Yeah, you know, so like, because we've also seen plenty of garbage. We've also seen plenty of garbage go ahead and rise up because, you know, I mean, how many people eat McDonald's? It's not good food, but they got the numbers.
A billion burger sold or whatever they always put on their shit.
Right.
Brilliant Big Macs eating. Like, y'all proud of that. Y'all killing the shit out of people out here. Y'all just put it on the board. Another death. Hey. And for every death we doing a 99-cent Friday. That's crazy. And it's on a Friday. That's fire. 99-cent Friday on a Friday. Come on, Mikey. Come on, man. Fuck with me, bro. Best rapper alive.
Those are words.
Yep. That shit is just crazy, y'all. Like,
you guys remember the 29-cent burgers?
No. Who the fuck was doing 29-cent
McDonald's. Back in the late 90s, 39-cent cheeseburgers.
That's the most nastiest shit
most you could
heard.
get was 10.
Them burgers was in y'all stomach. It's still in y'all stomach to this day. Whoever bought them bitches.
Probably.
Undigested and disgusting. So, I vote we get this shit back popping. I don't give a fuck how many slots y'all think y'all got. I need to see some Asians in the front row not doing karate. I need to see some more Latin. Like, why y'all?
You're really good at it.
Yeah.
You did math, bro.
You don't want stereotypes? I mean,
God damn, boy. It's like, I swear I haven't seen no Asian except for Crazy Rich Asians. Have y'all seen that movie yet? Really good movie.
No, I haven't, but
as far as main roles,
is it that one comedian woman who's on that?
I think they got all Asians in there. Yeah, there's a bunch of comedians in there.
Well, like the main woman, like I believe she's done a couple of Netflix specials.
Yeah,
she's pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
Margaret Cho was big for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's one of the things that like I do love about like the different ethnics and stuff is like going ahead and seeing just peeking through that curtain, you know, because like Asian life is different than my life.
Wow. She like a rapper or something too. She do a lot of shit.
But
I could
Jimmy
imagine,
O is funny.
I could not imagine writing Aquafina like that.
Yeah, and Jimmy O's good too because he's an Asian dude that grew up watching like BET Comic View, and so he was like, he was like, I used to watch Comedy Central and be like, I'm not laughing at this. Turn it to BET comedy and be cracking up, and that's just because, especially back then, it was a lot of white people jokes.
Oh yeah,
but them bitches was hilarious, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things because I used to, you know, watch a lot of that BET comedy and like the original Kings of Comedy and shit like that.
Yep.
And those jokes I thought were hilarious because it allows me to look at my own self through a different perspective, you know, and Dave Chappelle's white guy was hilarious. Like that's,
Dave still might do the best like impression.
like you know, like I don't know like personally any white dudes like that.
Yeah.
But like right. I know that they exist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can try to be that. Yeah. If you really want, I can try to be that.
But
I'll catch us all. Pull it out through the
wait, no, I'm thinking who had the who did the white guy voice where it was like super nasally?
It
was,
I think most
well, I mean, obviously, but it was like 90s. It was like super nasally, like, hey, I'm a white dude.
I'd have to look back. I don't know, but that's funny.
Can't remember.
Yeah, so like, yeah. That shit always cracks me up.
Also, watch Black Lightning too, y'all. We started watching that. Not corny at all.
Really?
So
Anything
far,
like White Lightning?
No, nothing like white. Nothing like white light.
It won't get you fucked up.
Yeah, white light to get you fucked up. At least so far, when I'm watching, the story is really good.
You watched a couple episodes a couple of years ago,
yeah,
right?
and then me and Shalonda started watching it together. First episode is super fire, and then so far it's just been pretty good, you know. But you know how CW do shows, So I'm just waiting for it to be ass. But so far,
for the endless Oliver.
yeah. But so far, it's because it tackles issues super well. Like a lot of the gang shit that we was talking about, they like reflected in a way like we were saying, like they not really just a gang, that's a family and shit. But it's still a gang. Y'all still out here doing wild shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The pops is like a retired superhero coming out of retirement. His daughters both fine as hell. Like it's good to see fine black women too. I think people just sleep on other races of women a lot of times. Like, bro, go out of the country and see these different races of women that you don't even know what race they is. You just be like, God damn, that's a fine lady, bro. Like,
well, that's MJ in Taiwan.
Boy, Thailand.
Thailand, where he didn't know what gender it was.
Well,
nope. I knew what gender every one of them motherfuckers was. They wasn't hiding it good at all where I was at.
That's one of the funny things. My one buddy down in Georgia,
Georgia, great women.
He's a huge hick. And him and we were driving from Georgia through Alabama, through Mississippi, on our way to New Orleans, and we were talking about race and everything, and like, I mean, I wouldn't really fault someone who didn't know him at all to go ahead and think that he was racist and stuff. But like in our conversation, he's like, honestly, I don't understand people who are racist. Like, have you never seen like these other women? Like, black women are.
Yep. Hallsville Bobcats.
I know
it could have been a piece of rubber.
No, it was a snake.
Oh, I just got to get through this week, Pop.
Why?
This is the first week that Texas high school football starts, like their actual games, so I can relax a little bit after all that work I've been doing.
You're not going to have to go
week.
there and snipe. Look at that. Ooh, wee.
What?
You see that booty?
I did not.
Oh, man.
My eyes are on the road.
Okay, mine was on that booty.
Old white dude, like grandpa.
Yes, I don't. Shit.
You know, you do have an eye doctor checkup.
Jake, I feel like he could be in your family somewhere.
You can't trust your eyes these days.
I can, 'cause I like him.
What makes you think that? He don't look anything like my family.
I just love that shit.
The like crazy old dude.
What?
You see that booty?
I did not.
Oh, man.
My eyes are on the road.
Okay, mine was on that booty.
See, he's Southern. He ain't Appalachian.
True.
That boy said, ooh, you see that booty? Well, my eyes on that booty.
I can see my
that booty crosses gender lines, bro.
Gender lines?
You mean,
racial lines?
Well,
again, Mike was in Thailand.
He knew very well what it was.
Oh, I definitely just said gender lines. Woo! All right. Cheers to that one. That's why I fuck with y'all.
White Claw here.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
That's why I fuck with y'all, man. We can have these good combos, dog, and it's good content for sure.
Are you out ASAP? I'm cutting it, or not cutting it here, because you want it to be like 2 to 3, right?
Oh, damn.
Well, I mean, like we didn't get started till like 2:30 though, so like we could do an hour though.
Because we got what music? Is there a
nudge?
A nudge?
Oh, is there a nudge? Hold on. Did I send it to myself? Let me see if I can find it.
We have time for a quick nudge in music.
Well, I mean, like, how long have we been recording?
30 minutes.
Yeah, so do another 30. Make it a solid hour.
38. Yeah, we'll make it a solid hour. Hold on, let me see if I sent it to myself.
Also, since I don't drink anymore, it's kind of hitting me.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
So, like, he mentioned Texas there, which, like, I had the conversation with you guys, Wazzy?
God damn,
why? You give this boy one White Claw, and he's slapping monitors. He's throwing headphones. But I don't think I mentioned it here at all, but I had this weird, interesting thought about Texas and what their American flags all over the place. We haven't had that conversation, did we?
No.
Maybe because you might have related that to why
think of anything.
Hungary.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have them, so I won't repeat myself. Yeah, Romania. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That might have been a private conversation.
No. That was on the pod.
Yeah, you just don't listen to me. What? Fuck.
Move your White Claw, Wise. I can't see for shit. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Like out the way though. Like. All right, cool, awesome.
What did you expect from Waz?
I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's get it in. Judge that.
Okay, I don't want to watch it yet because.
So are we watching it here or no?
What
are we doing? Wait, where am I?
We have to like set it up at least.
Yeah, hold on.
So I don't want to see anything.
I thought this was longer than this. I don't have a Tumblr account.
Oh, you would though.
Oh shit. Well, this isn't what I thought it was. So.
Well, we got Costa versus Adesanya.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. That's
gonna be exciting.
Is that this week here?
I have no idea when it is. Yeah. I don't know when anything is. We've seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be really interesting. They're both undefeated. And boy, are they talking a lot of trash.
I haven't seen none of the press conferences or anything.
Oh yeah,
they on each other's heads.
Oh yeah, and it seems to be actually like legit. Like they're not trying to like get up the views or anything like that. Just that they're not big fans of each other. And it's funny. Honestly, I don't mind who wins. I am rooting for Costa just because, pretty much because of the way Adesanya handled Romero.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a huge fan of that, and stuff like that. So, time to lose. But if Adesanya pulls it out, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because he's a great fighter, he could go ahead and take Costa out. I wouldn't be shocked by that neither.
2 words, bitch. Style bender. He winning.
What about gender bender?
And I want. Oh, Jesus Christ! Here we back on that gender.
They
shit.
winning.
And they winning.
If you're bending, you got Mike's vote.
Wow.
Is wrong for so many reasons. The video of teens fighting on a Detroit street popping up all over.
Hold on.
Showing up on fight in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak.
This guy.
Hold on.
I still love that.
I did have the display capture up, so people at home listening or watching and listening.
Mike apologizes.
No, I want y'all to tell me what race y'all think this man is.
All right, I was gonna.
The coronavirus outbreak.
It's a big brawl. Coronavirus seems to not.
So,
guys.
It's the footage making rounds on social media.
It's Detroit's
On
West
social
Side.
media.
Showing a fight taking place near the intersection of West.
You gonna throw it up now or no?
Yeah.
And it was all captured by Instagram celebrity, comedic reporter Tay Crispy.
Wow.
It was very unsanitary over there.
You can see a few girls moving up to
Very
settle some
unsanitary.
type of score. One lady can even be seen wearing a mask likely to protect her from the virus.
Oh,
They
really?
had the mask on like it was really gonna stop something.
And if you can't tell by now, this probably isn't the best way to practice social distancing. Sadly, it's being done in the Motor City on a pretty common basis.
But coronavirus, that seems to not stop anything that's going on in Detroit at all.
Another video shows a separate
Maybe
group
the
of men
fighting
hashing it out in the middle of the
doesn't stop
stay-at-home
it.
order, a move that can literally place your life at risk.
People shouldn't be gathering to start with. Even worse, close contact of any kind is bad. And then add the
Frank
fight.
McGeorge.
He looks
Frank fucking
the-
McGeorge.
That's the weirdest looking
that guy
I've ever
would be a
seen.
really good lady
Out of
boy.
the fight, it's the perfect
Yeah.
mix for an exchange of viruses.
Get some eyeshadow on there.
Actually, I just like to report. I like to just report and give real live news before it actually gets to you guys.
And once again, we want to stress to you the importance of staying inside,
Tell us
even if you may
what
not be
race this man
experiencing any
is.
types of symptoms.
If you only
can still
listening.
be a carrier for that virus, leading it to people who may be at
So-
risk. For now, we are reporting Victor Williams, Local 4.
Is it a Detroit thing that everybody sounds like articulated white,
I don't
regardless
know,
of what you are.
I don't know, bro. I've never even seen that dude before. I watched the news.
He looks tired.
He looked tired than a bitch.
Wow. Boy, throw him up real quick. People need to see. Somebody let this man nap.
He's been in there for like
Channel 4?
20
give the man a
years.
break.
Give this man a motherfucker some PTO for God.
Yeah, he needs some PTO. He's just reporting coronavirus and death numbers all day, every day.
He's been
And
on
it's
for like
taking a
20
toll.
years.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
and that news is taking a toll. Southeast Michigan, we just need to be better because like we're really going ahead and wearing this guy out.
That's crazy. Wow. All right, hold on 1 second.
There's a lot of editing in this one.
Yeah, nah, it's not. I mean,
It's raw.
Yeah, y'all can
Real
suck
raw,
my
raw.
unedited penis. My edited penis. I mean, my penis is edited.
Does edited mean circumcised?
Yeah.
Or is edited?
What was the name of that band again, Wazzy?
As I lay dying.
Huh?
As I lay dying.
Oh yeah.
Shadows are security.
The moon.
Hold on. Albums.
It was out in 2004.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
There we
5.
go.
I love the opening of the album.
Like it even opens up like a fade in. Like y'all faded into the album. Like that's fire to me.
Double
Bitch.
kicks.
Bitch, 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 bitch. All right, this came out in 05. Yep. So hold on, let me pull up the wiki. So Wazzy, break it down, bro. What was the meaning behind picking As I Lay Dying as your album this week?
So they were one of the first bands that were true screamo, but also I had like clean vocals that were really good. Just the energy behind the album, like when you listen to it, it's got I don't know if it's speed metal, it's close. It's like bordering, but it's got tons of energy.
Yeah, but more of a hardcore, which
Right.
gets into that punk that you know you tend to be a fan of.
I don't know. It just if you look at the lyrics, every song has like 10 lines.
Yeah.
Like, it's super short, and I didn't realize it was a breakup album until I had listened to the entire thing in order with lyrics. But one
Like
other,
with the lyrics up?
huh?
With the lyrics up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you kind of need it. But they were one of the first bands I also listened to where like an album was meant to be listened in that order, where certain tracks lead into other tracks, which I thought was really cool because I hadn't really like heard that much.
Yeah.
But Confined and Repeating Yesterday, like my two giant songs for this one. And pull up the list. Reflection, Through Struggle.
Nah, this is what I like though. Move your white claw. Fuck.
You move it.
I know. Hold on. Oops. God damn it! I fucked it up.
Damn it, Mike.
I just love this so much, bro.
Like this build, Confined is number one for me. Like, I gotta say, Darkest Nights is my number two. There's just something about the energy behind the band that I love, and because it's not even their screamo part of it, which is good. But I hear that like an instrument, which is why I never listened to the lyrics for them. I don't know. I just it's a boss album, and I love listening to it with the energy.
Shout out to Bruce Springsteen, by the way.
Always shout outs to Bruce Springsteen, bro. Forever to the day I die, I will shout out Bruce.
But yeah, I mean, there really wasn't a whole
And
lot
Phil Collins.
to why I picked it, other than I love the actual music and it's got great energy, and it put me into a new genre of dirty and clean vocals together. Because the only other time I heard that was like Blink kind of did that with Tom and Mark, where Tom was dirty-ish and Mark was super clean vocals.
So when you say dirty, you mean can't understand them, kind of?
Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dirt or nasal, like something that isn't somebody singing.
Yeah.
Like, where you're kind of singing, but you suck at singing, so you're doing this
Yeah.
instead. Like T-Pain. Like T-Pain auto-tune. Though T-Pain can sing, his auto-tune would be like a dirty vocal version. I don't know, the energy of the album, the drums, the bass, the guitar work, because there are some amazing guitar like riffs and slide downs and stuff. I don't know, the energy of the album is what I love.
Yep.
So that is the entire reason I picked it.
It's just fun.
I love the entire album. It's energy.
Yeah.
Like, driving and listening to As I Lay Dying is amazing, because you just want to like see how far down your gas pedal goes.
This is the first like screamo album I've ever listened to, like front and back. You know, I know certain songs and shit, but never ever sat down and listened to a whole project. And it was,
this isn't like normal screamo.
Yeah.
Well, I guess vocally it is, but not.
But it's more artsy. It's
yeah. And I think that's what made this even more fire, because it was like, all right, I'm fucking with everything. Not to say I like that shit sometimes, you know. I just never sat down and listened to the whole
This is an
joint.
entire album where the screaming dude, you don't really know what he's saying.
Yeah. And that was always my thing about it too. Like, for most of the guys, it's like, God damn, what you saying, bro? Like, you can kind of pick out bits and pieces and then use context clues for a lot of guys, but for the most part, it's like, all right, we just out here getting it in. But my main thing as a musician is just always being in awe of saying, okay, I can sing this, you know, a few times in the studio and then get the song.
Right.
But once I go on tour and I'm doing 5 shows a night, I have to sing like this every fucking night. You guys are doing this every night. You know, you're on tour for 3 months.
Drink a lot of tea.
You're on tour for 3 months, traveling to a different city every night, and out of 7 days in a week, you're going to be playing 4 or 5 of those days. And the people, especially once you get big, it's important no matter what, because if you headline and you want to put on a good show so that people don't say you was ass, and if you're headlining, if you're opening, you want to put on a good show so that people don't say you ass, and if you're headlining, the people pay money to come see you, so you can't be ass.
Right.
So I gotta come out here and give y'all my best show, and it's not gonna happen every night, I know that, but singing like that is fucking ridiculous, bro. Period, point blank. Screaming in general, and then screaming, they not just screaming. They're doing like a raspy, like you doing, like you like rolling something in the back of your throat in a lot of this shit, and that's, you know, like you said, you drink a lot of tea, bro.
So screaming has 2 major sides. There's the like guttural growls, and then there's the high end,
like sort of shrieks.
Like the shrieks, and they are 2 completely different. Styles of screaming.
Yep.
And you normally don't mix them.
Yeah.
Okay. Like as far as one vocalist,
as far as one person having that,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
There's actually 2 vocalists on this album.
I was just making sure when you say you don't mix them, you don't mean like don't put them on the same song. You mean one dude does one, and another dude,
you have people like Chester Bennington who can do everything. And I believe the clean vocalist here can sing and do some screams, but the dirty vocalist is doing both the screamings and the guttural stuff. I I don't know. It's a very interesting thing to think about of how you make noise and how you change the way you make your own noise.
Because I remember when this shit first started coming around, I was young and all the kids around me was young, obviously, you know. And it was around this time, 2004-ish, you know. I was probably earlier than that, probably 2003. I was in middle school around the time. So probably around the end.
This is when post-hardcore started.
Yeah.
Which post-hardcore is
after
punk.
hardcore.
It's everybody that was punk that went to the more heavy metal. It's like heavy metal punk with screaming is
but not quite thrash metal.
No, and it's still poppy to a certain extent.
So this stuff, so 14 is around the age when you start really
dropping balls.
Dropping balls. And really start curating your musical taste. Like the shit you hear around 14 is usually the shit that's going to stick with you the most and really shape you as far as like what you like musically. So around this time, I was 12, 13, 14 in that area. And I was still kind of figuring out what music I really fucked with. I just remember kids my age like being very divisive about screamo. They either liked it a lot or you would hear dudes like that shit's trash. What are they even talking about? They just screaming. Like I remember that pretty vividly. I don't know if that was in y'all experience, but in my middle school,
wasn't around when I was in school.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't like known about. It was like Crass and those.
But were you on like the blogs and shit around when it came out?
I mean, I would have been
Journal.
20. Never had a live journal. So in 2004, I would have been 19.
Okay.
See, like
21. I would have been.
I was
21.
hearing all that same sort of stuff about rap, you know, and that sort of thing. I can't understand what they're even saying. Like, you know, like my dad's saying that sort of jazz. So like listening when I first started listening to this, like, there was a little bit of that reaction from me, and I'm like, well, wait, like, I couldn't
My dad
understand.
hates this. I'm gonna listen.
well, no, I was like, I couldn't understand rap, and then I could, you know, and but it's interesting listening to it now. I'm like, damn, because I haven't listened to a lot of screaming for a minute, and especially this sort of screaming. Like, Lamb of God is completely different. And so going back to this, where like it's so thick with the screaming, I was like, wow, like I've actually come like a long way. Like I've lost a lot of that language, because I used to be able to listen to that and make out the words.
Like Meshuggah was even harder to understand, in my opinion. Though they had better dual harmonies, which they kind of do here. There are some great dual harmonies going on.
What always cracks me up is like I got exposed to them because of them being a Christian band, and some of the dudes I was hanging out with who were into like a lot of like post-hardcore stuff and all that jazz.
Under Oath was also Christian.
Yeah. So like some dudes I knew, like they were really into Under Oath, and then like showed me As I Lay Dying, and from the metal side of things, I was like, oh yeah, I can mess with this. And like that drummer, like I'll always remember that drummer, because what he does with I was telling Wazzy about this.
I was shocked by this. I had no idea.
Yeah, so he has an acoustic kit, which therefore, like you got the drum head here, right, and then you got to pull that pedal back so that you could go ahead and create that acoustic sound. You need to hit it hard, because otherwise you're just tapping it, and if you just tap it, you're not making a lot of sound. Nobody's hearing it. With an electric kit, you could go ahead and change the sensitivity of those pads and all that jazz, but you completely lose that when it comes to an acoustic kit. But what he has are these D-drum triggers on his bass drum that sense any vibration on the drum head. So that allows him to go ahead and have that pedal much closer to the head, so that there's not as much distance that it needs to travel. So he could just go da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and that's how he gets those super quick rolls.
Most people who use like automatic or mechanical drumming stuff, every hit sounds the exact same. Like you can kind of hear it when you're 3/4 through the song, and you're like, every hit sounds the exact same.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm rolling. That's fire.
Where in this you don't. It's like triple kicks. It sounds like triple kicks and stuff.
I thought it was funny because like when you first said "As I Lay Dying," I'm like, wait a second, this isn't the Wazzy I know. Because like I was more familiar with their album before that, Frail Words Collapse. And I don't remember there being a lot of clean singing at all.
There wasn't.
Right. Which so as I was listening to this, I'm like, okay, here's the clean, and yep, that's why Wazzy connects with it.
Yeah.
It's poppy-ish clean vocals and
Yep. And what I was saying earlier too, between like 1 and 2, I've always loved those transitions between songs.
What is the other really good one? The one into Through Struggle, I believe.
Oh yeah, hit that real quick. Through Struggle.
No, is it
going into Through Struggle?
Is it into Through Struggle or
Hold on,
into
I'm about to see now.
Perception?
Let's see how this goes.
This is From Repeating Yesterday into Through Struggle.
No, it's the next one.
Those opening drums, I love.
No. Is it Reflection into Repeating? I know there's one more really good one. Yeah, it's this one.
Yep, fire.
Where it goes into it.
It's great, bro. I've always loved that, and the first person that told me that I love that, so I've always loved it, but I didn't realize I loved it until Kid Cudi. And we're gonna listen to one of my favorite Kid Cudi albums, not this week, eventually, because I got to figure out how you're gonna listen to it. It's a mixtape, so we gonna have to like download it or listen to it on YouTube. It won't be that hard.
Playlist coming up one of these weeks. It's not an album.
Yeah. So, but that's what he does on all his songs. It's like a fucking great transition. But when you do shit like that, like with a band, it's cool because everybody's on the same page. Like, we're going to go into this. And when you do it as a rapper, that's going to be you working with your producer and your engineer. Like, let's make this beat flow right into this one. Well, and you got to kind of, it really affects how you make a project and an album and where shit go. Because because I don't know if y'all know this, but when y'all making an album like this, you don't make it thinking about where the song is going to go. You just fucking make a song and then you just set it down. And then once you like, okay, we got 12, let's figure out where everything go. That's when like the creativity part kicks in. But now you're kind of confining yourself because you're like, because you're like, okay, Reflection goes right into Repeating Yesterday. So those two got to be right next to each other. But where do we put those two in the album?
You can record a transition pretty easily.
Yeah.
No, I know that. Yeah. But especially in this, you can hear. For me personally, I'm pretty sure this was thought out. It wasn't afterwards. It feels like they did this while they was playing.
And most live rock shows kind of do that anyways, where the guitarist is just playing through while the singer is saying like, "Thank you for listening to our previous track. This next track, guitarist is just playing there, playing some riff, playing into the next song or based on the previous."
And I think people really sleep on how much like the practice that you got to do. Like the touring part, that's just the game. Yeah. But you got to practice a whole lot.
It's also 4 hours of stamina.
Yeah, you got to practice endurance. A whole lot. So everybody's on page. Like, this is what we're doing, and then we're doing this, and then I'm talking here, and while y'all talking, y'all do this, and then we're gonna go into this song, and then we'll feed off the crowd whatever we want to do for this part. Like, it's it's a show. Yeah. It's not. Let's go up here and just play whatever song we want. Like, we gotta sit down. We gotta practice this shit to make sure everybody know their parts. Because a lot of times, you record a song and then you be like, you forget about it.
That's so boring to me. Like when I was in a band for a minute and stuff, like going ahead and just practicing the same song over and over, and like, this is what I'm doing. Yep. Okay, and like, I'm just bored. Like, I want to change it up, and that's why, like, I would always enjoy jamming with Justin so much. Yeah, because can just vibe. Him and I were just always on the same page. He would switch it up on the guitar, and then I would be able to hear it, and like, we had enough similar like influences and stuff that I could go ahead and know exactly where he's going and meet him there and stuff. And then I could get bored with something and change it up, and then he's right there with me.
And that's why I don't understand why people hate jazz so much. I'm just now learning this, but I'm like, wait, people don't like jazz? I don't.
Just play the right note.
Yeah, and that's. But if you go see somebody at a jazz show, a lot of that is impromptu, bro. Yeah. And they'll bring motherfucker. You brought your shit. Come on, bro. Vibe, jam with us. Like, I love that shit. And I just don't. I didn't realize that shit literally till like a year ago. Like, oh wait, there's people out here that don't like this.
Jazz can be very divisive. You have to. I think a lot of people have just heard bad jazz. Like, they live in Chicago and they're like, oh, it's a jazz area.
Yeah.
And it's just not good jazz. It's people playing whatever the fuck they want.
Well, and then there's so many different types, and they're really rather different, where I'd be like, I would not have classified that as jazz.
I mean, I've heard rock songs that could classify as jazz because they are very performative. It's very much based off of
Meshuggah's got a big jazz influence, which is hilarious. But you could hear it in the solos if you know what to listen for.
Those are good guitarists.
Oh yeah. But what was it here? But I also feel like jazz is very much so like a high art. It's high music. You know, it's not necessarily for everybody, you know, because like, especially like all the math behind it, and there's such nerds, you know.
It is the Da Vinci of art.
Yeah.
So you have like Da Vinci drawings, which are very mathematical, very calculated, very formulaic, and it's good art. And then you have me trying to make a stick figure, which I can't.
I really enjoyed The Darkest Nights. I think probably the most, honestly.
Confined is my number one, and The Darkest Nights is number two.
Well, I didn't think I would enjoy it as much because of the clean vocals. Like, that's not with something this hard. That's not what I'm wanting to hear. But
what you want to hear? Just all screamo in there?
Pretty much just all screaming. Like that's the energy that we're coming with, right? You know. But then you're softening it up with these clean vocals. And
but I'm with Wazzy too, though. I love a good clean, just in the middle of some dirty shit. I do love that shit, bro.
But when it hits right in Darkest Nights, it was hitting right, you know. But what I really enjoyed was just how much that guitar was predicting the clean vocals.
I don't know why that song just
like if you go ahead and listen to the notes and like how it's played and everything, and then he's playing a different riff when the clean comes in. But the clean is singing like those same notes that he was playing on the guitar earlier, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
So this is your first time hearing this album, but
No.
Oh, okay, you've heard this before. Okay.
Yeah, I remember when it came out.
As a whole, in order though, or
I don't think I listened to the whole thing in order, but I remember like the day the Confined video dropped.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I rewatched those. They are tough to watch now. They're like 240i. It's like interlaced to 240. They're not.
I love looking at actual. Oh, and this is the last thing that I just always love talking about. This is one of those bands, y'all. Looks like 3 dudes stuck around for the most part through 2004. But they've had to jump around a little bit, man. And looking at their Wikipedia, they had to jump around with labels too, dog.
And Tim Lambesis tried killing his wife.
Yep. Wait, what?
yeah. He solicited someone to murder his ex-wife.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's not in prison right now?
I can't remember. I think he did some time.
Hold on, bro.
But
there's no way you hire a.
No, he solicited someone. He didn't actually hire them.
He just wanted to price check it.
Yeah.
No, go up.
Christian rocker who tried to have his wife killed should bow out.
Bow out.
Bow out.
I never even
look
heard
at this face, y'all.
As a Christian,
and that's
band.
what I was about to ask y'all. Is this a Christian? Oh my god!
Like Skillet is a Christian band too.
Look at this face. God damn. Was he in Vikings? Sheesh.
Yeah, I never really understood like
2 years behind bars for handing $1,000 to a hit man.
There's a couple
who turned out to be an undercover San Diego cop, bro. It's no way it only costs $1,000 to kill somebody.
Well, that's why he got caught. because it wasn't real.
Yeah, you out here trying to get that cheap price.
So
you get what you pay for.
Was that a Craigslist ad?
Had to be, bro. He spent 2 years. That's some bullshit, bro.
So like undercover drugs make sense. Like I get the flow of how the officer can catch somebody. How does a undercover hitman work?
It's like you said,
honestly,
bro.
probably easier.
Like,
Backpage, just go ahead and swim out there and respond to
That's a good question, though. I don't know because you can't. You can't
want me to kill your wife.
Was he on the dark web? I don't know, but I feel like if I hand you $1,000 to kill my wife, I should get more than 2 years in prison.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, everything's a miss.
10,000.
Yeah. Like you spent $1,000, bro. You thought that's all it cost? He like, I got me a good ass deal. I brought you brought a coupon with you or something.
So that means at most her life is worth like $800.
Bro, that's plus tax,
labor fees, bullet fees, gun fees, all of those licensing.
Now,
bro.
Mike, I'd be interested to hear your perception of so this whole genre really popularized the breakdown. And
like the EDM breakdown.
They didn't have a ton of breakdowns in this one as much though.
I mean, there was at least half the songs.
Yeah.
So I was just like, when it comes to like a song structure and stuff like that, I was just wondering if you had any thoughts about the breakdown.
Well, most are bridges. So I mean, bridges have been around since early Roman music, and breakdowns are kind of like evolved bridges, where it's verse verse chorus or chorus could be bridge. No, verse chorus bridge chorus. But breakdowns kind of took over this.
Yeah, I rock with breakdowns. It's always a good way. You know, the best part about breakdowns is it's more so for the live show.
Oh,
because
for sure.
once you get
Everyone's
that bitch
losing
down,
their shit.
Once you get that bitch down,
circle, like wall to wall circle.
Yeah, man, and it also most of them usually allow for a certain type of freedom for the instrument, like the dudes playing the instrument. So, like you said, I'm not just always doing the same shit. And I'm big on that. Like, bro, I don't want you to be back here playing the same shit like for 4 hours. I want you to let loose. I want to get a drummer some. I want to get a guitarist some. I want to get a violinist some. So I love breakdowns, bro, because like you said, it's a great way to break up the monotony of the song, and most of the time it's fire. Because I just love that it almost sounds like a different song a lot of times, and now you just got freedom and to really fuck a show up. And because really, now with a breakdown, it's not. In the song, the breakdown is 8 bars usually around there. But if people is feeling it in a live show, I can stretch that shit out 16, 24. I can do that shit as long as I want until I'm like, all right, let's hit it to the next part. And then like you said, it usually after that come the chorus, which everybody usually knows your chorus. To so me, now we going right into something that everybody is and it's gonna fucking kill the song.
the breakdown into chorus is always like coming. It's I don't know. It's build up, and then nice release.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, but mentally,
no, that makes sense.
It's a very you're building the deep aggression, and then
The funny thing to me, like when I was listening to some of these breakdowns, like really, it does sound like a different song, but really. Most of the time, the guitar is doing the exact same thing. Yeah. It's just the drummer going ahead and pretty much shifting the rhythm of it. So now you're going ahead and seeing a different side of that rhythm. Yeah. Which I also find interesting just watching like the way someone listens to music and like, especially like with rap, I'll see like your head's moving like a lot quicker than mine would. And like we're just going ahead and picking up on different rhythms of that beat. And that's always an interesting thing to observe because like it totally shifts the song.
Yeah, especially me particularly. Don't go for me because I listen to beats and shit different than other people a long time ago. Because it's the same thing you said. I'll be doing like this, and I see somebody next to me like, and I'm like, damn, which part you listen to?
That was what we had already did at the beginning of Kick and Fine. Because I'm hearing double kicks.
Yeah. So that shit's always fire. This album was dope. Like I said, this is the first time I listened to a full screamo joint. And I enjoyed that shit. And like I said, I really like the transitions too and the clean parts. So this was a good ass pick. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it's also funny that the music. This is 2005. I'm listening to it the first time, and truthfully, you could have told me this came out last year, and I'd have been like, "Oh, okay, cool." It's not because of the music. It's just because of the quality, sound quality, production wise, like mixing and mastering wise. Like I see,
really
it sounds good, bro. And I don't know if they remastered shit and then before they put it on the Spotify, which people do sometimes, but
no, it was pretty clean when it first came out.
It sounded clean,
dude. Oh man, but I did hear because I listened to it and then I had them on Spotify, so it's jumping around, and some of their stuff after this went down.
Did they go downhill?
So bad. Like making like screamo anthems and stuff like that. Like,
the screamo anthem. That's that label coming in on your ass.
Screamo epic is a very tough genre. Like there's a lot of good epic music or anthem music.
I'm about to say, what's epic?
Epic and anthem epic and anthem are kind of similar. Like Avenged Sevenfold to me is a very anthem band.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My Chemical Romance would be an anthem band where they're big open songs.
Centuries, remember me. Yeah, like stadium songs. Yeah. When you get that high, you need shit like that for the stadium.
It's like our current version of arena metal.
Yeah. Yep.
Where it's larger than life and. So they went into that. They went into the.
Yeah, I can't remember which song. Scroll. Which way is more recent?
This way.
Up.
Also between us, this is who we are. The Powerless Rise, Decus.
Go down to Powerless Rise.
Parallels is good.
No.
Parallels and Condemned. I know from this one.
Go past Decas, past Awaken. Maybe it was Shaped by Fire.
This is
Redefined. I think that was it. Hit play on that guy. Skip to like the middle.
Yeah, that's what to do.
No, this ain't it.
I like it.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, I have no idea. But
was it just like one album? Just like
I mean, it was just like the one track that had come up, but I was like, ugh. I hit skip.
I wonder if it was some of the re-records in her party system. They're good.
Damn, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at a couple of those.
What you got for us?
I know I said I was gonna put y'all on rap. But we're gonna take a break from that this week, and I want y'all to listen to Foster the People, Torches.
Okay,
this is it's a quick listen to, so it won't be terrible for y'all. I really love this
with pumped
album.
Up kicks. Yeah,
I just really love this whole album.
Do you know what that song's about?
I sure do. And actually, Shalonda had a class where they talked to her for like an hour about pumped up kicks, bro. So we had a good conversation when this first dropped. But yes, I love this album.
I don't think I've listened to the entire thing, so I'm looking forward to it.
So y'all get to the kitchen, cook a little bit, turn this on, because it's a great
this will be
doing
going
stuff
on
and listen
tonight.
Yep, it's a great album to just listen to and do and vibe out. Love this album. Listen to it just now on my way home from South Haven, and this is my first time listening to it in like 10 years, so I was like, fuck, nah. This came out 2011, so it's probably been about 6 years, and I was like, fuck, I still love this album. So Foster the People, Torches, that'll be next week's treat. 10 songs, so that y'all got, it won't take up too much time.
Three shorter albums in a row?
Yeah, something like that.
Not bad.
We'll get back up there to them full length projects, but yeah. So this is the No Consensus Podcast, y'all.
Peace.